Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. This is just a quick look round to we did a before look round the garden. Hannah was down for the weekend, so this is like a relatively short after look at where some work was done. Not everywhere has changed, so I'm not going to do a full update or anything. Hannah trimmed that bush a little bit. It's a regular occurrence just to keep it tidy. The wisteria was cut back all along tendrils and all that sort of stuff, so that's just been tidied. And what Hannah did was go along taking off dead bits, all the dead bits off of the geraniums and dead fern leaves, and well, not all of them but some of them, just a general sort of tidy up, getting rid of obvious dead bits like the campanula. All the flowers had died off and were just hanging out over the patio, so those got trimmed back. So that's all that was done there. That creeper that keeps coming up through the ivy in that bush, Hannah cut all that back. This bush was trimmed back quite hard earlier in the year because it flowers on the new growth, and you can see now the flowers are starting to come, and the bees and the hoverflies absolutely love that. What else? Nothing much here. These two trees were trimmed back. They just get kept as bushes, but by keeping them quite low, from inside I can see over the top of them, and I can see more of what's going on with the buddleias, with the butterflies. That's a relatively major change. We actually moved that buddleia from round behind that one where it couldn't be seen round to here in this empty space, because this is where the forget-me-nots are supposed to have self-seeded, but if they've germinated they will have died instantly through the heat and the lack of water. So hopefully they've gone dormant and they're waiting for cooler, wetter weather, perhaps even early autumn, but as long as they germinate this year we should get some flowers next year. The thyme is the next. Well, it'll be a big job for me because it's at ground level, but I'm going to get my kneeler out and a pair of scissors and trim the thyme hard back. But I want to wait till the flowers are finished. These bits are still in flower. That bit round that blue tub is virtually finished. That bit's finished. I'm going to trim it hard back and reclaim the pathways because it's overgrown the pathways. So that's a job to come, not actually done. What else? Nuthatch up in the oak tree, very distinctive sound. I trimmed back the valerian, took off all the seed heads and everything, and it's going to carry on flowering for some time. I mean, there's still quite a few shoots that have got buds that haven't even opened yet. That sedum keeps falling over. The size of the plant just way too big for that little pot now, and I can't keep it upright. It's so top heavy, so I have to keep standing it up. At the moment it needs water, so it's light as a feather, so puff of wind and it's gone. The perpetual wallflower, I've cut virtually all of the shoots off of there. That should start it creating new shoots with the massive buds, and I'm hoping that it's late enough in the year that they don't grow and they wait for the spring, but difficult to tell at the moment. Round here, this corner got a good going over. That pot with basically nothing in it was moved out the way to gain access and everything, and Hannah's trimmed the pyracantha down, and all the brambles that were up in the maple and hanging out of the bamboo and everything, they've been trimmed back. And we took, between us, we both did a bit, we've taken the palm back an awful lot, because this is an access way to the shed, and it was becoming completely blocked because the palm was growing out so far. So that was done, and really the big job was the bamboo. Now, couldn't get the hedge trimmer out because the hedge trimmer is electric, and it specifically says in big capital letters, do not use when it's wet. Now, we had several showers Sunday when we were working, which meant all the bamboo foliage was soaking wet. Which meant, because what happens is that because it's an electric motor, it's got cooling vents, in the casing, and if you use it on wet foliage, that water could get in through those vents and actually short out the motor. So it is highly recommended not to use it when it was wet. But we used the long cutter that I've got, the extendable pole that's got a sort of scissor blade on the end and a long cord to actually operate it, and we use that to get an awful lot cut down. So we've reclaimed the camellia that was completely getting buried in the bamboo again, cut an awful lot back there, and taken the palm back away from it as well, so it's got its light back again now. Trimmed that bush a little bit now that we know it's Mexican orange blossom. It can be pruned accordingly, and it did actually flower this year on one branch that didn't get pruned last year because it was up in the wisteria and it got missed, and it produced some flowers, first time since I've been here, which enabled us to identify it. So that's that. As I said, we moved the buddleia from round the back here, where it was blocking access to the shed basically, and hidden behind the other one. So it was sort of almost wasted really. So we brought that round to here. And the main difference you'll see is that the top of the bamboo, all those huge long extensions and everything have gone, and the top of the bamboo's been trimmed. But what we couldn't do is the face, as I said, because the hedge trimmer is not supposed to be used on wet foliage. So that's what we got up to. As I said, we had we had rain on Sunday. Saturday we spent a fair bit of time in the garden just tidying, just trimming back dead bits and things like that. And then Sunday was, getting this whole bottom end done between us, meant getting the steps out. And I mean, to get some of that tall stuff cut down with the long-handled cutter. I was actually on the top step with nothing to hold on to basically, so that demanded Hannah to be on the bottom of the steps to stabilise them, which is why some things I can't do on my own. But yeah, so that's what we got up to, and now I've got to get the watering can out and water everything. We were supposed to have some heavy showers last night, as usual, not a light, and there's supposed to be the possibility of showers again today. Like I always say, I'll believe it when I'm stood in it. So that's what we got up to, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.